There's just one last visual trick that I'd like to show you in Sway, and that's how you might organise a whole series of pictures that you might want to display. So it could be a stack of photos that you can sift through. It could be set out in a grid. There's a whole lot of options that we get to choose from. So the first thing we need to do is let's just choose the mythological dimension. We're going to put lots of images here of the Buddha, the story of the Buddha. So we'll just click our option here, choose stack, and once that appears, it invites you to add content. So we're going to add content by importing photos. So let's go insert. Now we could insert from our own bank. I'm going to choose images only, and I'm going to find the story of Siddhartha Gautama. So let's just say I wanted to import stories from the story of the life of the Buddha. I just click and drag the images and it will place them. You can just click and drag as many and place them in individual cards, and we'll talk about how we're going to manipulate that a bit later. So we just find the selection of pictures we like, we want to add for display purposes. We can caption them all. I'll just caption one or two. So how many have I got? 4 pictures. You might want to add another here. All right, so we've got 5 pictures there now. And notice that we are in a very special sequence of cards here. Because we chose stack, it knows that we want to group them together. So you'll see here at the top, just above our first image that I selected, it says group stack. So if I click on group stack, it will give me some options of how I might want to stack this selection of images. So there's our selection of images. So I click on group type. Over on the right hand side, you can just choose automatic and it will intuitively figure out the best combination of photos. You can choose the second one here that is stack. Now a stack means that when the Sway is open, it's presented with the photos sitting one behind the other, and each time you click on a photo, it puts it to the back of the pile and you see the next one. You can choose to see the pictures in a grid, you can choose to see them in a slideshow, or you can choose them to be in a slideshow with the other photos down below as thumbnail images. There's a whole lot of things that you can choose to do. So you might want to choose the grid, but I think we'll have a look at the stack and see what it looks like. Again, you can choose the small version, the middle version, or the large version. Let's go the middle version. And if we want to see what it looks like, we go to play, and we'll be able to watch once we scroll through past everything else that we've already made and included. So here we are in the mythological dimension. That's my heading page. And here we are with the images. So these are the 4 images that ended up stacking. So you'll see as I click on each one, it will disappear, go to the back, and the next one will be there. It's probably not something we would use very much for an academic piece of work such as this, unless you just wanted to showcase parts of the story that you would then provide text for to back up. But it is simply an option in Sway that allows you to present images in this way. If we go back to the edit mode and decide we didn't like the stack version, we'll go back to edit, select group type. Maybe you just wanted it in a grid, so choose the grid, go back to play, and see what it looks like when it's presented in a grid. So once again, you just need to have a bit of an experiment to see what works best. So here are the 4 images in a grid. You'll notice that these have their heads cut off. That's because we haven't asked it to focus on any particular part. It really does try and make decisions on your behalf unless you give it specific instructions. So obviously we're not going to be happy with heads being chopped off. So we would need to click on, try again, edit, click on the particular image that was causing us grief, Actually, that doesn't give us the option to focus, so I probably wouldn't choose the grid. I would go to the stack. Really not something we'll be using very much of for this particular task, but I just wanted to show you what options were available.